Welcome to a video about the repiling of 346 The Terrace. Here's a bit of an update on how things are going. So we're about 4 weeks into the repiling. It was supposed to take 2 weeks, that's what we were promised, but anyhow, here it is. Here you can see the dirt that's been dug out from under the piles, under the floorboards. It's, I don't know, many cubic meters of dirt that's come up, mostly clay, but a lot of good dirt there, and so we've managed to use that to fill up that bank down below a bit more. I guess we'll put in a bit of a retaining wall there at some stage and build that up and try and make it flat. So anyhow, here we go through to some of the piles that were taken out. These are there's the pile of piles, so you can see what they look like. These were the piles that were put in, what, 130 years ago. You can see what they look like. You know, they're pretty in good condition at the top, you know, really hard wood, but they were sitting on the ground. They would have sunk into the ground, and you can see they've just rotted away underneath. We're not sure what we'll do with these piles now. I don't know, maybe Emma will learn to do carving or something, or turn them into a table, or maybe we'll just put some of them under the ground in that bank down below. I don't know. So of course we've been keeping most of our things from in the house, in the shed here, all piled up, trying to live in the house with as few things as possible. So again, yep, there's the piles, and here's some of the new piles going in that I've done lots of different sizes to replace those things. The old carpet underlay that we've taken out. In fact, you can see down under the bank here, we've actually just, down there you can see, we've actually just dumped the old carpet that we took out. It's wool, it's organic, it's fine there, put a bit of bulk for that new bank, but we're not putting carpet back in, of course. We're trying to keep some polished floorboards essentially. You can see all the cement packets there. Looking under the house, this is what it looks like, the new piles in cement. So yesterday and the day before they put those new piles in there. You get a better idea what it looks like here. You can see what the piles cemented in look like there. It's looking a lot more sturdy than it was before. They did have these jacks, lots of these jacks around to actually lift the house a bit more. So most of those are taken out. I guess they'll take them out today, the rest of them. So the house actually has been lifted up, probably about 10 centimeters, so probably about that much difference than where it was before. You can see all the way along the side of the house and how it's all been changed. Bit of a mess, of course. All these skirting boards had to be taken off, or what they are, those outside boards. So going into the house, it's all been very dirty, very messy. Each room, we've had 3 sections of the floorboards taken up. So where the piles were, they've taken up the floorboards, and they've kept them there. You can see them there, which they'll go back down hopefully in the next few days, and hopefully it will look like it used to. And so under the floorboards you can see where those new piles are, and they've put in some new boards to keep them stable, etc. And so all of this flooring now is been raised a little bit. It's a bit more level. It's never going to be 100% level, of course. It's not like a new build, but it has come up quite a lot, so it doesn't sink down here in the corners like it used to. So you can see the piles there. The dirt, of course, was not much lower than the actual floorboards. I don't know. And there's of course a cat that's come in. This cat seems to live with us now. We call it the bonus cat, or Demos. We found this cat on Demos Hill next door, and it seems to have moved in, so it likes it here. The cats seem to like going under the floorboards as well. They won't be able to do that much longer. So that was the front lounge. Of course, this is the old, well, the bedroom, the main bedroom, and you can see that we've got cement in those holes. Lots of cement and new piles and it's all fastened and connected to the walls now. So this style of house built 130 years ago, apparently it's called Irish style. So English style, I think, is whereby you build the floors and the walls at the same time and they're connected, they're integrated. Irish style is where you just build the walls first and then you put in the floors, and they're kind of free floating, they're not entirely connected with the walls. So that's how these ones are. Anyhow, moving on to the mess that we've been living in for the last 4 weeks. So this is one of the rooms. You can see the state of the floorboards here. These ones are painted blue. I don't know quite what we're going to do with those. There's some horrible boards here, or sort of more modern boards, where the fireplace was in this room, and at some stage we'll replace those with more traditional or original type floorboards. So you can see there. Okay. Of course, in the end, hopefully it's all going to be the original flooring. We've got some very nice carpet mats to go down on it. This hallway is not really being changed, unfortunately. We're not going to, it's not being repiled. The piles aren't under the floorboards in the hallways, in fact. So it's going to be left pretty much the same, although eventually maybe we'll change it. So going through to what we were using as our study, you can see that they've added in some extra reinforcing under there, because this part of it under the floorboards were quite rotten. Generally, they found that under the floorboards were in a pretty good condition in the house. Things were pretty dry under there, but there was just a few parts, perhaps near the walls, some areas had rotten out. So today we hope to have council sign off on all of this. We have the final council inspection after midday, I think, I hope, and of course that's when they can start then putting in the insulation under the floorboards and then start putting the floorboards back down, which is still quite a difficult process, and it could take a few days, and we hope they can get that right and it isn't, you know, going to look too ugly. And of course you can see the cement packets there. Until a few days ago, they were actually talking about bringing in a concrete truck up the driveway and pumping in concrete, but then they found that too difficult. So in the end, they've been using these packets of cement, and they don't mix them up in a concrete mixer or anything. They just pour it straight into the hole and then pour in these buckets of water. So that seems to be the modern way of doing things. And it's all worked, and it looks like the concrete is all quite set, and hopefully the building inspector today will tick it off and pass. So that's the state of things. Like I said, it's taken 4 weeks. They promised 2 weeks, but it's been frustrating living in these conditions and not knowing when it's going to be finished. But we seem to be moving into a new stage now, and yeah, it feels like progress is finally being made.